Hi Libra. So today's talk, we're going to be discussing what's respectful and what's disrespectful. We are only looking at relationships when it comes to romance and not other types in this instance, okay? It's going to be a short talk. I don't think I'll make it very long. But I did want to bring this conversation topic up because I do want feedback in the comments, please. And tell me your thoughts on the situation, as we're all different. But it's been my experience in life that for the most part there's a consensus as to what's acceptable and what is totally disrespectful and not allowable. Okay, so let's take the instance of you getting involved with someone and you're just getting to know them. You have had maybe 2 to 3 weeks of knowing them, and they tell you that they're not able to give you anything other than a sexual type of relationship. And let's say a month passes and that same scenario or that same energy continues and you never spoke up. Does a person have a right to believe that you're okay with having a sexual relationship with no strings attached, no ties? They don't have to answer to you at all. I think they do. They have a right to believe, since you've never spoken up on your behalf. If it was me, which I mean I would never do, but if it were me, then I would believe that you're okay with it, that you're more than okay with having a relationship that is geared towards sex only, and I see you when I see you and that's it, and there's no emotions, there's no strings attached, and you're okay with me just having sex with you, and that's it. We have a sexual relationship and nothing more. In that instance, since it's so fresh and you didn't speak up, yeah, I think that person can safely move forward with thinking, unless you present otherwise, a different point of view towards them or to them, that they can actually anticipate that you're okay with just having a relationship with them that's strictly based on sex and nothing more. Period. End of story. Now let's look at the other scenario of what could happen. You get involved with someone and you've been with that person for a while, and they keep coming back, and no matter what, you guys, have your ups and downs, you keep coming back together. And during that time, they've never told you that it's never going to change. They've never told you that it's never going to look like something bigger than just a sexual relationship, and that it's super casual. And you have told them, in fact, through the years or through the time you've been with them, that you want so much more, and that you are expecting that they grow with you. And then they even express feelings for you, and they acknowledge their feelings for you, therefore acknowledging you as something more than a sex thing. And then they come back and undo all of that with stating things like, well, that's not what I'm here for, or that's not what I'm down for, so you need to go look elsewhere. That is disrespectful. The other's not. But when you've already expressed your views, your desires, your needs, your necessities, and it looks like that person little by little is growing with you, and then they come out of the blue years later and tell you need to go look elsewhere because that's not what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, that's disrespectful. Why? Why do I say that? Well, because they wasted your time. They used your energy. They used your love. And they used the energy behind the love, the emotions that came with it. For you, it wasn't sex, and that's why it felt good for both of you. And you used your time. You built them up. You always showed them emotion. You always showed them kindness. You always showed them affection. And suddenly you don't even know if you ever knew them. If you ever really knew them at all. And what little you do know about them, that they allowed you to get close enough to have glimpses of who you thought they were, total opposite is the truth, because they not only disrespect you, but now they're liars, and to the point of being con women or con men. And you have to stop and think about what you've done to yourself, right? Because you've unknowingly placed yourself in a relationship where nothing appeared to be real, or nothing appeared to be as it seemed. None of it appeared to be as what was presented to you. And so it makes you feel bad about yourself. It makes you feel like maybe you're not very astute. It makes you feel like in my instance, when it happened to me, and y'all know, I always give examples, if I can, real examples of what I've gone through. When it happened to me, it was a shock. It felt like a slap in the face and a mockery of my person, and the fact that my person was devalued to the point of, I gave you all that time, and I gave you all those pieces of me, and now years later you're telling me something that you could have told me these things 3 years ago, and it would not have been disrespectful, because it was a brand new relationship, and being a brand new relationship, it can go either way. Either you don't jive with them, or they're not jiving with you, and they find that they cannot give you what you want after all, or that it's not something they wanted, that they were just testing the waters. At a very young age or stage in a relationship, that's okay. Yeah, it bothers you, but it doesn't hurt you, because it's very small amount of time that you've spent with each other. But when it's years down the line and somebody literally tells you to go look elsewhere because that's not what they've been wanting or want, then that information should have been shared with you months in, not years in. Because then that means that they've been keeping up a facade with you, a lie of sorts. They've been keeping up appearances with you simply to get near you, and to keep you trapped in a relationship that they knew full well they were never going to own up to. They were never going to sacrifice anything on their behalf in order to make you feel comfortable, or make you feel that it was reciprocal, okay? And that it was growing, indeed, that it was growing. And those are the times that you're dumbfounded, because you're, sorry, y'all know I itch when I talk to y'all and when I do readings for y'all. At that point, that's when you feel like you're confused. You're confused, right? At the very least, you're confused. Very least, you're confused, and you feel like, do I not know myself? Do I not have any boundaries? Do I not have a good sense of being able to read another's energy? I mean, all these things come to your mind, right? But I'm here to tell you that that was on purpose. That was a premeditated act all along against you. So what was being perpetrated was, I'm going to use them for an indefinite length of time. For what purposes? For whatever my needs are. Whether it's friendship, whether it's romance, whether it's an emotional attachment, whether it's codependency, but it's feeding my ego. So whatever it is, it's feeding my ego, and I'm going to go with it, and I'm going to use this person in that way to feed my needs. So it's premeditated. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm someone who is a life coach and experienced a lot of things in life, so I share. And the thing is that through their premeditation, and you didn't know any of that, you were not made privy to any of that, it does leave you dumbfounded as to why this wasn't shared with you years ago. And the reason it was not shared with you, not to get into the mind of the person, because one can never know the mind of the person, because either there's some psychopath or sociopathy, for sure apathy is going on there. Again, I'm not a doctor, but you can tell. And the whole thing is, you didn't know who you were dealing with or what kind of person you were dealing with. You kept taking them at face value. Even if they had told you about brokenness before, well, then you kept making excuses that they were broken. But what becomes blatantly stark nakedness, a blatant stark nakedness of a reality, is that they're doing this purposefully. Every single step they've taken in regards to you and how they've handled a relationship with you has been calibrated to a degree of non-missing. Like, let's say you're using a scope on a rifle. You calibrate, you make sure that that's in line, and when you have your line of vision, and you execute your shot. So everything has been premeditated towards you. And I'm saying all this to you because you have walked away after this type of relationship with someone, feeling less of yourself, feeling like you're to blame, or worse, not feeling like you're to blame, but feeling shame. Because you didn't recognize the signs and the symptoms. You didn't recognize that this person was using you. You didn't recognize that that it was going to end in a huge, complete failure, because in essence, they had never really put anything concrete into the relationship. They had only put in what they thought you wanted to hear in order to get what they wanted from the situation, which they had put you in. So were they going to divulge that at any time? No. Why didn't they divulge that months or even weeks into the relationship with you and kept it going for years? Because you were a good target. I'm putting myself into this conversation. Okay, Libra? You were a good target. Why should they end the relationship with you? You were loving. You were kind. You were giving. You were emotionally available. Your sex was good. Otherwise, it wouldn't keep coming back. And you did listen. You did provide affection. You did provide, even on my part, he would tell me that I had a motherly type of energy. And so I don't know if that's what he's been missing all along in his life, possibly. But you provide a lot of things, a support, right? You provide a support for them. So they're not going to let you go. It's like a psychic vampire who is siphoning your energy, siphoning your love, siphoning your affection, siphoning your attention. And they'll even go as far as coming all the way to where you are when you push away from them, because you're finally in the awareness that, hey, this is not going anywhere. It's not feeding me. It's not giving me what I've always thought this relationship was, which was a concrete relationship that was going to grow. We're going to grow together. We're going to become more than what we presently are. And so all I'm doing is the waiting game, meaning I'm waiting for this person to grow up and catch up, right? But instead, that doesn't happen. They give you a rude awakening by pushing away or saying something harmful and hurtful. And then, here's the clincher. Man, I'm itching. Here's the clincher though. Not only do they leave you confused, in doubt of yourself and of your ability to gauge people, but now they want to blame everything on you. Oh, you never loved me. That's why you were able to walk away, Libra. Because in fact, every time you told me you loved me, every time you told me it was unconditional, it was a lie. No, I'm here to tell the cross watchers, it was not a lie. It's no disrespect to you. I'm just telling you the truth. And I'm sorry if you hurt by me telling you the truth. This is all you. These are all things you've done because you had a plan executed in your brain. You had already conceived this plan, the Seven of Swords, all along. And Libra just happened to be in your line of fire. And you're already an expert shot, a sniper, in fact, and you know how to aim and hit your target. So Libra happened to be one of your targets, okay? What is the difference between the Libra collective and your past targets? Your past targets you easily were able to remove from your life, discard, and do away with, and felt no guilt whatsoever. None. Because they would cry about it, or they would beg you to come back, etc. And the Libra never did that. The Libra told you they loved you. The Libra told you in emotion as well as vocalizing, emotion and physicality with you, and vocalized it. But the Libra never begged you to return. The Libra never begged you to pick them. The Libra never begged you to stop playing games. The Libra tried to be patient with you. The Libra tried to be loving with you and towards maybe your past. But at the same time, what you're feeling to understand, Crosswatcher, is none of this has anything to do with the Libra and has everything to do with you. You're the one that's broken. You're the one that needs fixing. You're the one that's damaged. You're the one that doesn't know how to love. You're the one that, even if you knew how to love, you fear how much love to give, and then you're stingy with your love, you're stingy with your time, you're stingy with your attention, and then you give and then you take it back. You're stingy. You give and then you take back your love. So then you confused the Libra. So no, the Libra, it's not that they didn't fake love you. It's not that they didn't itching. It's not that they didn't know how to love you. It's not that they didn't completely love you. As a matter of fact, I can probably raise my hand and say, for the majority of the Libras, a lot of the Libras are still in love with their cross-watcher. But what the difference is that now we understand as a Libra collective, see my hands? This is a defensiveness, a defense mechanism. Why? Because now we see you and this is what we're doing. A sense of protection. Because we don't want to get hurt anymore. We're not buying into your shenanigans anymore. We're not buying into your wanting to make us a target anymore. Because we understand now more than ever that you're not able to heal. Because the point is, that was never part of your plan. As a matter of fact, if I'm reading you correctly, cross-watchers, you don't feel that you need to heal because you don't feel like there's anything wrong with you. You don't feel like there's anything wrong with the way that you're going around doing life and the way that you're playing with people's heads and hearts. And I got to tell you, without being a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, you're wrong. You are sick. And I'm not saying that in an ugly, derogatory way. You are sick. You do need help. You need counseling. a lot of psychotherapy. You probably would benefit from some kind of medicinal therapy and a group therapy for maybe nymphomaniacs, sex addictions, for alcohol addiction, for anger management, whatever it is that you yourself are expressing outwardly. And most definitely you're a liar. And again, I'm not saying that as a disrespect. I'm saying that as a fact. You've lived a facade. For so long, you've lived a lie. With your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, in life in general. You wear a mask, a persona that's not really you, that you project out. And that's exactly what you've done with the Libra. You've projected out a mask for them to be captured by, and you couldn't keep up that mask. So then as the cracks started to show in the latex of the mask, now you start showing who you really are and start being ugly, start being mean, and having a arrogant, belittling, patronizing tone towards the Libra. Because why do you have to wear a mask now? Now that's the true colors. Now you're starting to show the real you, cross-watcher. So for that, I thank you. I hope the Libra thanks you. Because if you would have never shown those cracks that showed the light here and there, and to enable us to see who you really are, we would have continued, because we're so unconditional and because we love so deeply, we would have continued to give that love indefinitely. That love in the same formula would have just kept flowing towards you. See, we didn't realize you were just using the energy because it felt good to bathe in that glow of the Libra love. But because you showed through the cracks, you showed who you really are and how you really have no compassion, you have no real feelings inside of you towards another person that's not you. You were able to show the Libra that they need to not only get away from you, they need to stay away from you. Because you're here to take, you're never here to give. And as a matter of fact, I'll go one further. Now, through seeing your real arrogant self, which Libra always knew you were arrogant, but they didn't realize that was all you were about. Now you have shown that what you really wanted to tell the Libra all along is you should be grateful that I'm in your company. You should be grateful that I grace you with my company. You should be grateful that I come near you and provide you with my company. You should feel privileged to be in my company. No, my cross-watcher, no. You're not the most important person in this world or in the universe. First of all, he is. Not you, my little narcissist. But I will tell you something. No, you're dead wrong yet again. You should have been glad. You should have felt privileged. You should have felt some kind of importance that the Libra collective decided to grace you with their time, their presence, their love, their affection, their care for all the time that they did. Whether they were beautiful, gorgeous, drop-dead gorgeous, or whether they were, plain Janes, or whether they were drop-dead handsome men, or, a plain-looking gentleman, is irrelevant. I'm talking about what they gave to you. What they provided that was of great value. But you never respected the Libra because you felt like your arrogant little pompous ass was above them. Above them. At every point of the relationship, you never saw them as your equal. In fact, even intellectually, you always thought the Libra was beneath you, because they were never going to catch up to your games. They were never going to see through your facade. They were going to never see through the veneer. But you were wrong. You were wrong. Because for those that did see through your cracks, I applaud you, Libras. For those that were not able to see through your cracks, but through people like myself that are on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, that tell our Libra collective about people like you that they've been involved in relationships with and are on the money, if it had to come through someone like me, that they're now having their eyes open and have the realization that there's nothing wrong with them. They're perfectly fine individuals. That in fact, all along, it's been you. And it doesn't matter how much you, see my finger? Doesn't matter how much you try to push and point the blame back at the Libra collective, because you don't want to accept having to be responsible for all of this hurt, pain, sorrow, usury, fuckery. It doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree that it was all on you, Cross Watcher, because we all know, because we have common sense, and because we don't need a psychiatrist, psychologist, or an MD, we know that you're the one with the problem. And the only problem we had was being involved with you. So, as the Bible says, there's nothing that's in the dark that doesn't sooner or later come to light. And that's what you've done for us, is you've brought things to the light. So, you can't come back around this time like you did in the past. You can't, because now the Libra has their hands out and is not going to let you in just so you can fuck with their minds again, just so that you can steal their energy again, just so that you can steal their emotion again. But you have nothing to give in return except stupid, empty words that you want the Libra to feel bad because they didn't get chosen by you. Who are you? You're someone that's broken. You're someone that needs a psychiatrist. You're someone that needs to work through your issues. And I'm not saying all of that for people that are listening in general. I'm not saying all of that to belittle them the way that they've tried to belittle us as a Libra collective. I'm saying as a fact, even if I'm not a doctor, even if I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, I can see, and we can see as a collective, that these people are unwell and need help. They need the kind of help that is beyond the love and affection and time that you gave them. And yes, even if you're like me, I will love my cross watcher, my twin flame. I will love them for the rest of my life, but I will not allow them to come back and steal my time, steal my energy, steal my love, and leave me with nothing. Leave me with nothing. Because then that's my fault. And then I'm the one that needs a psychiatrist. I'm the one that needs a psychologist. I'm the one that needs medication therapy after that. And I'm not about to do that to myself. So what I am doing today is I'm bringing this topic, I'm bringing this conversation to you because the narcissist will want, and I'm using that term loosely, the narcissist will want to point the finger back at you, my Libra collective, and tell you that it's your fault because you didn't love them enough. You didn't really mean it when you said you loved them. When indeed you know that with all your heart, of course you did. But what they're not wanting to understand, or simply because they need help, cannot wrap their mind around, is that everyone has their limit. And even though you love them, you can still safely love them from a distance where you're not going to get hurt anymore. And leave them to God. Because if they're not able or not willing through their arrogance and through their immaturity to go towards help and get the help, then all you can do is leave them in God's hands. Wish them well so that no bad karma comes on you, and walk away and never look back, because they've taught you a grand lesson. One, be careful and look at who you're giving your time and effort to. I'm telling you, within the 3-month time, you should, of being with someone, dating someone on the regular, you should be able to ask them, where do you see this relationship going? If they tell you like mine did, oh, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 30 years. Well, I do. I told him I'm going to be meeting my maker. I'm not going to be here on earth anymore. So I won't have to be worrying about what you're doing in 30 years. Nor will you have to be worrying about what I'm going to be doing in 30 years. Because I'll be up there resting in glory. So those are ways to keep you, hooked. They don't quite tell you no, but they don't quite tell you yes. So again, don't fall for the fuckery, the trickery, the muckery, the malarkey. Don't fall for it. You need to grow, for sure. You do need to grow. You need to grow stronger. You need to grow in maturity. You need to grow in wisdom, so that people like this never are able to come around you and fuck with you anymore, because you can see them from a mile away. And again, use the 3-month marker to ask questions. Hey, where do you see this going? Do you think it's growing? Would you like to grow with me? Or do you think that, we can part ways and no harm, no foul? I can start dating another. You can go and date other people. Again, those are my rules now, as somebody that, has had to grow from these experiences. You can use that technique or not. That's up to you. But what I am saying is, do not walk away from this conversation thinking that it was you. You're not broken, my love. They are. You don't need help, my love. They do. You did nothing wrong, my love. They did. You gave unconditionally, but got tired, which is normal. It's normal. When it's a normal sign of an intelligent person to not keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over and think that a different type of outcome is going to come. Right? Isn't that what's called insanity? So leave them in their insanity, because they're very happy there. They're never going to come to you unless by some small miracle to tell you, I need help and I'm going to get help. Will you help me to find the help? I want to grow with you. I don't know why I do the things I do to you. I don't know why I'm hot and cold with you. I don't know why I tell you I care about you and then I tell you that you're nothing to me. I don't know why I stay away from you. I need help. I recognize I need help. Help me. Let's get help. If by some small miracle they ever come back and mean that, hallelujah, God be praised. God be praised. But for the majority of us, that's not going to happen, because that's not their agenda. Their agenda is to get in and get out. Get what they need from you and get out. Stay away from you for a while, come back, execute again, attack. Get what they need, get out. See, because they don't have to grow feelings. They don't have to be accountable to you. They don't have to grow. They don't have to mature. They don't have to be responsible. A lot of they don't have to, huh? You get the picture? Okay. I love you guys. I hope this helps someone out there that is having to deal with a fresh or an old breakup. And no, don't let nobody tell you that it wasn't a relationship. Every single thing that we get into is a relationship, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a boss, whether it's a friend, whether it's your parent, whether it's your children, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, lover. I don't care what you want to call each other. It is a form of a relationship. Don't get it twisted, and don't let people play with your minds. Love you. Much love. Much light. Victoria Violet. Till we meet again, friends. Bye-bye.